Hello and welcome to Gunners Daily YouTube channel, where I'm covering all the latest Arsenal news and everything that is happening around the club. Happy New Year, Gunners! I hope you all had a good night. Of course, football-wise, it could have been a lot better for us. Back-to-back defeats to West Ham and Fulham. And from being on top at Christmas, we are now in 4th place for the new year. New year is here, but more importantly for us, January transfer window is here. Yes, the January transfer window is now officially open. And the chaos begins. Every day from today till February 1st, we will be covering all the latest Arsenal news. So if you haven't already, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the Gunners Daily YouTube channel. Okay, let's see what are the latest news. Arsenal are interested in signing Real Sociedad's midfielder Martin Zubimendi this January, according to the journalist Dean Jones. According to Football London, Arsenal have been tracking Zubimendi ahead of a potential move, with Aston Villa's Douglas Luiz and Everton midfielder Amadou Onana also targets, highlighting Arteta's want for another body in the middle of the park. The Spanish international's contract doesn't expire until 2027, so Real Sociedad are in a strong negotiating position if an offer arrives on the table. Martin Zubimendi has long been linked with a move to the Emirates, and it's understood that if Arsenal fail to sign the midfielder this January, they are willing to try again in the summer, when their financial fair play situation could be a lot better. For a long time now, we've been seeing, reading and hearing about this potential deal. I feel like this has been going on for the past 2-3 years. Our links with Martin Zubimendi, and I don't know. According to all these reports, it looks like it could finally happen. I hope that it would happen. I haven't seen much from Martin Zubimendi, but from little that I've seen, I think he's a brilliant player and he's the right profile for Arsenal. Exactly what we need at the moment. He's a player that's comfortable in possession, player that knows how to control the game and tempo. Defensively, he's capable of breaking up play. Just your typical Spanish midfielder, if that makes sense. Look, if we manage to bring him this January, I'll be buzzing. He's 24 years old, lots of experience already, Spain international. But in reality, this would probably be too big of a deal for January. And you have to take into account that Real Sociedad are also playing in the Champions League round of 16, so I don't think that they would be too happy to let their main star leave in the middle of the season. Secondly, it's believed that Martin Zubimendi has a £53 million release clause in his contract, and let's say, hypothetically, that Arsenal want to pay that and they want to sign him this January. With all the rumors flying around that our financial fair play situation is not that great at the moment, I don't think we would be capable to spend big on Zubimendi and then also target some other big name striker or winger, I don't know. But you get my point. So let's wait and see what will the news be surrounding this potential deal in the upcoming days. Wolverhampton and Sevilla would like to sign Reiss Nelson on loan this January, according to CBS Sports. According to report, Arsenal will consider sending Reiss Nelson out on loan in January, as Mikel Arteta reportedly doesn't count on the winger for the rest of the season. The 24-year-old, who joined Arsenal's first team from the Hale End Academy back in 2017, that's right, Reiss Nelson made his debut for Arsenal in 2017, so he's been here for a long time. Anyway, Nelson scored 1 goal in all competitions this season, with the Englishman playing just 89 minutes in the Premier League. Both Wolves and Sevilla are reportedly interested in the winger's signature, but it is believed that Nelson would prefer to stay at the club and fight for his place in the side. Nelson spent the 2021-22 season on loan at Feyenoord, registering 2 goals and 4 assists in 21 Eredivisie games. Arsenal may look to send Nelson out on loan again, as they look to make room for incomings in January. Look, I've always liked Reiss Nelson, and to see that he only collected 89 minutes in the league this season is simply shocking. Especially when you know that all of our wingers, except for Saka, have been atrocious this season. Nelson still has 3 years left on his contract. He is reportedly earning around £100,000 per week. Look, I don't know which other club at the moment would be willing to give him those wages. And that's probably the reason why Arsenal want to send him on loan, to free up some space and at least for someone to cover his salary. I don't know, that's just my guess. But once again, same like the Aaron Ramsdale situation. I don't understand why we offered a contract extension to both Nelson and Ramsdale in the last, 6, 7, 8 months, only to completely shut them down. If you ask me, I would love to see Reiss Nelson play more for Arsenal. I think he deserved a chance to at least prove himself, but judging by everything, that is not going to happen. I think it's clear to everyone by now that Mikel Arteta doesn't rate Nelson that highly, and that's okay. If he leaves, he leaves. But we are already short with wingers, so if we let Nelson leave on loan, it's crucial for us to then buy another top quality winger to replace him. It's a must. Because if he leaves, Bukayo Saka is basically your only recognized right winger in the squad, and he's already looking extremely tired, and it looks like he needs a break. And if you're a serious team, you can't enter the second part of the season with one single winger in your squad, and you have Premier League, Champions League, and the FA Cup to play. That would be complete madness, and I suppose Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar know that. As much as I love Reiss Nelson, I don't have a problem with us selling him or sending him on loan this winter, if we are going to bring in a better, bigger quality player. Listen, if you haven't already, feel free to watch my video where I talked about all the players who could leave Arsenal in this January. I went into detail, so if you want, feel free to check it out. I'll leave the link in the comments. Thomas Partey has been left out of Ghana's AFCON squad. The Ghana's midfielder has been out since October following surgery on a thigh injury, one that Ghana boss Chris Hughton has described as substantial. There were hopes that Partey would be back this week to be involved in Sunday's FA Cup third round clash with Liverpool, in time to join up with Ghana teammates at AFCON ahead of their opening group game against Cape Verde on January 14th. However, the decision has been made between the Arsenal's medical team and Ghana's head coach Hughton not to risk Partey out in the tournament's host country Ivory Coast as he continues recovering from the biggest injury of his career. This is great news for Arsenal, not so much for Ghana obviously. But Partey has been absolutely hammered with injuries this season, and just when he's about to fully recover, it would be a complete disaster to let him go and play at AFCON and immediately risk potential new injury. But what exactly does this mean for Arsenal now? Is Partey going to stay? Is he going to leave the club this winter? Look, we still don't know. Arteta said numerous times already this season that he fully counts on Thomas Partey and he wants to keep him in the squad. But at the same time, there have been rumors flying around that there is a serious interest for him and that maybe Arsenal would be willing to sell him this January to free up some space in the squad ahead of bringing a new midfielder. It would also free up some budget space for us because Partey, like you already know, is one of our biggest earners at Arsenal currently, and his contract expires in summer 2025. In my opinion, I've said it already, I think we should keep Thomas Partey, at least until the summer. So, for the rest of this season. Because we need depth, and we can't afford to let Partey leave this January, even if we manage to sign another midfielder. Because even if we manage to bring, let's say, for example, Douglas Luiz, we would still be one major injury away from a complete crisis. Declan Rice, let's say, Douglas Luiz, Jorginho and Mohamed Elneny. That is your midfield depth in 2024, when you are playing in 3 competitions. So, however you take it, we must keep Thomas Partey until the end of the season. Selling him now when he's finally fit doesn't make any sense to me, because you are not going to make any big profit on him, but if you decide to keep him, he could be a crucial part for the second part of your season here. We talked a lot about this already, but I'm gonna ask you again. What are your thoughts on Thomas Partey? Should we keep him or sell him this January? Write down in the comments. And speaking of our midfield depth, we could be in even bigger trouble because Trabzonspor are reportedly interested in signing Mohamed Elneny this January. According to Fabrizio Romano, Elneny could be on his way out of the Premier League. Trabzonspor are reportedly interested in a move for the 31-year-old, with other clubs also waiting up an approach. The report adds that Besiktas, Galatasaray and clubs in Saudi Arabia are exploring the conditions of a potential transfer. The Egyptian joined Arsenal in 2016 and is currently the club's longest-serving player. He has since made 159 appearances for the Gunners, scoring 6 goals and winning the FA Cup in 2017. Since his injury comeback though, Elneny has made just 4 appearances and has not featured in the league for Arsenal since October. Look, same thing as I said about Thomas Partey. Mohamed Elneny signed an extension with Arsenal in February and his contract is set to expire at the end of this season. So it makes 0 sense for us to lose him in the middle of the season for nothing. Why? Just keep him to the end of the season, because you guessed it, we need depth. So it makes 0 sense for us to lose him in the middle of the season. I know Elneny is not the same player that he was all those years ago, but still, every time he steps on the pitch, he gives his best. And when you play in 3 competitions, he can be a useful piece of the puzzle, because who knows what will happen till the end of the season. And finally, here are some interesting events that happened throughout the history of Arsenal on this day. On January 1st, 2005, Emmanuel Eboué joined Arsenal from Beveren. He went on to play 132 games for Arsenal before moving on to Galatasaray. On January 1st, 2009, Ivan Gazidis became chief executive of Arsenal, replacing Keith Edelman, and he remained in that position till 2018, when he left Arsenal to join AC Milan in Italy. And on January 1st, 2011, Ryo Miyachi joined from Japan. He offered great hope and did brilliantly in early loan spells, but injuries later caught up with him. He eventually moved on to St. Paulis in Germany. And that is it for today's video. So Gunners, thank you for joining in, thank you for watching, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Once again, Happy New Year everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.